A lot of things have just recently happened over this past weekend. David Johnston, the special made-up fake position rapporteur, has resigned after his reputation as previous Governor General of Canada, and his reputation got completely destroyed. Like, David Johnston is no longer viewed as an honorable Canadian member of Parliament, at least not to a lot of people. And I'll be honest, I didn't really know who he was, since there are so many public servants and members of Parliament. I didn't know really who he was before the announcement of his special rapporteur made up position. Now that I know who he is, and he has a half decent track record of working for Canada and working as a member of Parliament and being a honorable public servant, but that's all out the window. His integrity was never in question. It wasn't, hey man, how good are you at doing your job? It was more of, hey, you two know each other for a really long time. This shouldn't happen. And it took way too long. It took 2.5, 3.5 months for this to happen at a $1,500 day pay salary, which is insane. So I wonder if he'll ever have to pay that money back. But since that's happened, since his resignation, Trudeau has literally fled the country, skipped out on question period, and gone to Ukraine to announce, more money, more taxpayers' money, because Canada doesn't have its own problems. We have no need for our own taxpayers' money to fix our roads, put out forest fires that were started by people, or I don't know, fix homelessness, fix the drug crisis, fix housing crisis, a whole bunch of programs that, would benefit Canadians, or monitoring, fixing the programs, tweaking them to actually help Canadians. No. Our priority is Ukraine. Welcome back to another video, everybody. This is not a very good announcement, since it's a lot of money that's going to something that has literally nothing to do with us, but we're going to cover it anyways because it is our taxpayers' money and it is Canadian news. Before I get into it, I want to encourage you to give a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps grow the channel, as well as if you would like to match with my hat, stay calm, keep calm, never vote Liberals, or have a matching coffee mug, you're more than welcome to visit the merch link down in the description, as well as likely the pinned comment below. Let's take a look at the actual announcement of this pledged money. Trudeau commits $500 million more military aid during surprise visit to Kiev. And this is a topic that a lot of people are actually split on. Despite you watching his videos and seeing the numbers grow and seeing the people in the comments, there's a lot of conservative voters, a lot of traditional liberal, not current liberal, but traditional liberal, people that in Canada that actually agree with funding this war and providing aid to the war, the illegal invasion of Russia in Ukraine. And it's a very divisive issue. It shouldn't be as divisive as what COVID was, but it still is a very divisive issue. My own personal opinion is I don't believe we should be spending this much money on a war in Ukraine. Yes, I feel bad. Yes, war is horrible. I don't wish that fate upon anybody. However, we have a lot of issues here in Canada, and it seems like Canadian government just really isn't prioritizing that, aside from making press conferences and headlines by government-funded media like CBC that says, we are fixing all your problems, Liberal government's doing the best. No, they're not. Not when they're parading around giving $500 million. You know how much things that could fix here in Canada? $500 million? That could get rid of all homelessness, or a lot of homeless people here in Canada. Let's take a look at him pledging our taxpayers' money away.
As I've said many times, Canada will continue to stand with Ukraine with whatever it takes, as long as it takes. Since last year, we've committed over $8 billion in funding assistance to Ukraine, including over $1 billion in military aid. In addition, our spring budget extended a $2.45 billion loan to the government of Ukraine for this year, with the aim of supporting Ukraine's recovery and reconstruction. Today, I can announce that we will provide $500 million in new funding for military assistance. On top of this, we're announcing new sanctions. So far, Canada has imposed sanctions on more than 2,500 entities and individuals. And today, I'm announcing we'll impose new sanctions against 24 individuals and 17 entities as part of the Special Economic Measures Ukraine regulations. We've all seen the devastation caused by the collapse of the dam at the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant in Kherson region this week. This was a direct consequence of Russia's war, and it is devastating for thousands upon thousands of people. To help with the response today, I'm announcing $10 million in new funding and will be redirecting $37.5 million of Canada's currently allocated humanitarian assistance for Ukraine to respond to this flood.
Jesus, that's so much money.
Thank you again for your welcome today. You and the Ukrainian people are an inspiration to Canada, to Canadians, and to the world. This is a consequential moment for Ukraine, but it also is a consequential moment for the world. You're fighting for your country and for values like democracy, freedom, respect, and dignity. But in fighting for Ukraine, you're also fighting for the future of us all. Canada will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine, and so will democracies around the world. Thank you, my friend, for all that you do.
Thank you, Justin. Thanks so much.
Mwah! It's crazy. Look, I understand the global appearance of providing military relief and providing military aid. Canada has always been known either through self-identification, which we've labeled ourselves as peacekeepers, right? But now we're kind of provocateurs since we're literally on the border of Russia helping fight that war, which is not what Canada is supposed to be doing, but somehow now we are. Liberals have been against war, yet they're funding $8 billion towards war. I understand the global appearance of having soldiers go there, maybe 5,000-10,000 troops, maybe a little bit of military aid. $8 billion has gone into this that we are aware of. There could be more. There could be more money that they just haven't told us. This is insane. This is insanity. There's so many better ways to go about this. And there's so many better ways in Canada to spend that money. That's why people are mad. They're not mad that Ukraine is getting beat up or that Russia's at war. No, that doesn't bother us. Or I shouldn't say it doesn't bother us. It doesn't concern us, rather. It has nothing to do with us. They're not coming to Canada. And Ukraine is not officially a part of NATO. They're going to be welcomed when the war is settled. That's been official. But they're currently not a part of NATO. So our actual fiduciary duties are non-existent. But out of the goodness of our heart, we're spending, our politicians are spending $8 billion plus on this war when they really shouldn't be doing that. You might not think Canada is broken, to the very few people that might actually think that who watch these videos. In reality is there's a lot of things broken with Canada, and $8 billion sure would help fix those things, like a housing crisis, right? You could get sea containers and renovate them, buy plots of land and take all the homeless people out of cities and move them to somewhere that's safe, clean up the streets, help the drug crisis, help with rehabilitation instead of paying for drugs. There's so many ways to have spent $8 billion. And it's just hard to support our government. It's hard to even trust our government when they allocate that much money to a war and they don't leave it up to a vote. There's no room for negotiation. There's no room for talking about that money. It just is what it is. And the decision makers do it and they don't look back. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments. Is this triggering for you? Are you upset that $8 billion of our taxpayers' money has gone towards this? Because clearly, if you've watched the entire video, I'm pretty upset about this as a taxpayer and as a new father. But that's where we're going to end the video, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. If you want to support the channel financially, you can do so by checking out the merch shop linked right up there. Or if you want to do something for free, which is also absolutely acceptable and highly encouraged, you can subscribe right there. If you want to continue watching videos like this, you can do so by clicking or tapping right there to watch the next upcoming video. And if you want to watch a little bit of different content, but also Canadian stuff, you can do so by clicking right up there. That's my second channel, House of Canada, also known as the House of Commons Highlights. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.